In 1998, two students walked into one of the biggest companies on the internet and offered to sell it everything they were building. The price was about $1 million. The company said no. It was a small thing. That no, a rounding error. Nobody in the room could have known they had just turned down the most valuable idea of the next 30 years. The two students were Larry Page and Sergey Brin. The thing they were selling was called Google. And the company that said no was Yahoo. To understand how big that mistake was, you have to remember what Yahoo used to be. Because for a few years, Yahoo wasn't just a website. It was the front door to the entire internet. It started in 1994, two other Stanford students, Jerry Yang and David Philo, building a directory of their favorite links. They called it Jerry and David's Guide to the World Wide Web. Mercifully, they renamed it Yahoo. By the late 90s, almost everyone who went online started at Yahoo. Email, news, finance, search, chat, all in one place. At the peak of the dot-com boom, the market said this company was worth more than $120 billion. For a stretch around the year 2000, Yahoo's homepage was one of the most visited pages on the planet. If the internet had a capital city, this was its town square. People didn't search the web. They Yahooed it. And here is the strange part. Yahoo did not die because someone outbuilt it. It died because again and again it was handed the future and said no. Why does a company keep refusing the future? In Yahoo's case, because of what it thought it was. In 2001, it hired Terry Semel, a Hollywood studio executive, to run it. He saw Yahoo as a media company, a place for content and ads and eyeballs. But the people quietly eating Yahoo alive, Google, later Facebook, didn't think they were media companies at all. They thought they were engineering companies. And while Yahoo chased the next big content deal, they were busy building the next big machine. Go back to that first number 1998. Page and Brin didn't really want to sell. They wanted to get back to their PhDs, so they offered Google cheap. But Yahoo had a business model, and Google didn't fit it. Yahoo made money keeping you on Yahoo, clicking around, staring at ads. Google's whole promise was the opposite. Find what you want and leave, fast. A search engine that got rid of you quickly looked like a bad business, so Yahoo passed. It would spend the next decade learning exactly how wrong that was. By 2002, the lesson was already arriving. Google was eating search, so Yahoo went back, this time to buy it. Reportedly, Yahoo offered around $3 billion. Google said it wanted $5 billion. Yahoo refused to pay the difference. $2 billion stood between Yahoo and owning Google outright. Today, Google is worth more than $2 trillion. That $2 billion gap might be the most expensive act of bargaining in corporate history. Yahoo walked. Then came 2006. A 22-year-old named Mark Zuckerberg had a fast-growing college network called Facebook. Yahoo offered to buy it, about $1 billion. Zuckerberg reportedly was ready to say yes. And then Yahoo had a weak quarter. The stock dipped. So Yahoo's board got nervous and cut the offer, down to around $800 million. Zuckerberg walked away. Yahoo had Facebook in its hands and flinched over a couple $100 million. Facebook would go on to be worth more than $1 trillion. See the shape of it yet? Google, then Google again, then Facebook. 3 times, Yahoo was offered the next era of the internet. 3 times, it said no, usually to protect a number on a spreadsheet. Which brings us to the biggest no of all, February 2008. By now, Yahoo is wounded, losing search, losing talent, losing direction, and Microsoft makes an offer for the whole company. $44.6 billion, about $31 a share, a huge premium over where Yahoo was trading. For a company already in decline, it was a gift. Yahoo's co-founder Jerry Yang said no. He thought the company was worth more, closer to $37 a share. He held out. Microsoft, insulted, eventually walked away. Within a year, Yahoo's stock fell below $10. Shareholders had just watched their leader turn down $44 billion and then watched 2/3 of the company's value evaporate anyway. The investors revolted. The activist Carlson bought in and tried to force the board out, demanding they go back and beg Microsoft to reopen the deal. But the moment was gone. Microsoft had moved on. It would just build its own search engine instead and call it Bing. After that, Yahoo stopped being a company with a strategy and became a company with a revolving door. 5 chief executives in about 10 years. Each one promised a turnaround. None of them found one. Search belonged to Google now. Social belonged to Facebook. Video belonged to YouTube, which, by the way, Yahoo had also passed on. Every room Yahoo used to own, someone else now lived in. The last serious attempt came from Marissa, a star hire from Google. Her big swing was buying Tumblr for $1.1 billion. Within a few years, almost all of that was written off as worthless. And then the bill got worse. As Yahoo was being sold, it admitted to one of the largest data breaches in history, eventually every single one of its 3 billion accounts. The buyer used it to knock the price down by about $350 million. Even Yahoo's failures had a discount tag. So let's add up the bill. A company once worth more than $125 billion. In 2017, Yahoo sold its entire core internet business to Verizon for about $4.5 billion. From $125 billion to $4 billion, the front door to the internet marked down 96% and sold for parts. But here's the detail that tells you everything. By the end, the most valuable thing Yahoo owned wasn't anything Yahoo built. It was a bet. In 2005, Yahoo had put about $1 billion into a young Chinese company called Alibaba. That single stake eventually became worth more than all of Yahoo itself. Read that again. The company spent 20 years building search engines, email, news, finance, photos. And the most valuable thing it ever owned was a check it wrote for a business in Hangzhou that it barely helped run. Wall Street eventually valued Yahoo's actual products at less than zero. The Alibaba stake alone was worth more than the whole company's market price. Think about that. A search company. Its best decision wasn't a product, wasn't a feature, wasn't a no it should have turned into a yes. It was an accidental investment in someone else's business, on the other side of the world. Yahoo didn't lose because the internet passed it by. It lost because the future kept knocking. Google, Facebook, a fair price from Microsoft. And Yahoo, every single time, was too comfortable to answer the door. It was a search company. And in the end, the one thing it could never find was its own future. If you want more stories about how the biggest names on earth talk themselves out of survival, follow the money and subscribe. This was The Ledger.